Yo, what's up, you dorks? Welcome back to yet another educational English video. I am your new dad, and today we're actually going to be talking about something a little bit different from what we normally do. This isn't necessarily an English video. It is an educational video, just not an English learning one. Today I'm going to share with you 8 things that I wish I had learned when I was younger. This to me is an important list about friendships, about relationships, about self-love, self-healing, and personal responsibility, and other things that I just wish I knew when I was young. Because if you think you're an unhappy person, well, let me tell you, you're not alone in the world. There's a lot of people who feel a lot like you, and we're going to talk about that today in this video. Before we jump into today's video, let me quickly remind you, if you like what you see on this channel, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and leave me a comment in the comment section down below to let me know what you think and what you would like to see talked about on this channel. As always, join the Discord because we have a lot of fun over there. We play video games together, we share memes together, and we just typically chat with one another, and it's a great place to be. Now, let's learn! So to start out the list today, I really just want to talk about how everybody is different and everybody's experience in life is different from each other. So please don't take this as a video about me telling you how you should live your life, because that's not what I'm going for here. All I'm trying to do is tell you what I wish I had learned when I was younger and how I've made life work well for me as an adult. Keep in mind that what works for me might not work for you, and things that work for you might not work for me. Everybody is unique in their own way. This is just my view on how it all works. You're garbage. You should stop making YouTube videos because you'll never be successful. Why would anyone want to watch your channel? Have you even watched your channel? You look like shit. You look like trash. You're getting uglier with age. You looked better 2 years ago, and you were ugly then too. You ruin every relationship you ever had, and you'll always be alone. Nobody wants to be with you. You aren't as successful as the people you care about. Everyone knows that you're a bad person. We all have that voice inside of our heads that tells us that we're not worth it, that we're not good people, that we're not worth the things that we have. The one that stops you from doing the things that you want to do. The one that diminishes our sense of well-being and our general sense of happiness. And I don't know if you knew this, but that voice is actually not your friend. That voice is actively working against you. But bad news, it doesn't go away.
I know. I know, but I don't always know, you know? Like sometimes I have this tiny voice in the back of my head that goes like, hey, everyone hates you, and they're not wrong to feel that way.
I know what you mean.
That voice, the one that tells you you're worthless and stupid and ugly.
Yeah?
It goes away, right? It's just like a dumb teenage girl thing, but then it goes away.
Yeah.
At least for me it doesn't, and I'm 30 years old now, so it's still here. The thing is, you just have to learn how to ignore that voice. It takes a bit of time and a bit of practice, but as you get older, you'll tend to just be better at ignoring it and not listening to that voice when it tells you those horrible things. This voice just wants to stop you from being happy. And look, at the risk of sounding super cringy, nobody is entirely bad and nobody is entirely unloved. If that voice is telling you those things, it's just not true. So when that voice is beating you down, you just have to learn to cut it out, to ignore it. Don't listen to it. It doesn't care about you. It's not helping you. It has no intentions of making anything better. And I know it sucks hearing that voice, and it's really difficult to just blot it out, but you have to. It's the only way, because that voice will stop you from doing things that you want to do. It'll stop you from being happy. If you let that voice control you, it will, and it doesn't want what's best for you, so you just have to learn to ignore it. This is an idea that comes from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it's one of those books that everybody should read like once or twice in their lives. There's really no excuse not to read it. It's a fairly simple book to read. And it's also like one of the most translated books. So I do recommend you read this in your native language because it's just chock full of really good information. It's one of those timeless books that keeps getting updated every few years, but for the most part it's still quite original, and the message itself is just really good. It tells you what's important when it comes to talking to people or meeting people, and it's just you need to read it kind of thing. But this is an important part from the book, which is remembering people's names. People live in a universe all on their own where it's like you're the center of your own universe, right? It's not the sun, which is the center of our solar system. It's you. You are the center of your universe, just like I'm the center of my own. And no matter how humble you are, it's just the case. It's the way it is. So when you meet people, it's really important to remember their names because they are the center of their own universe. This is something that will immediately make people like you, because the second you already know their name, if they get introduced to you and you use their name, it's like, wow, this person already remembers my name. What a good person. I want to be friends with that person. It's a way that you will make new friends. And look, it's challenging. I'm really stupid when it comes to remembering people's names. I'm a face guy. I could remember somebody that I never spoke to that I saw once, years before. I could say, oh, I remember I saw you a few years back at this event. Or, oh, I remember seeing you at this place a couple of weeks ago, right? Even if we didn't meet, I'm good at that. But I'm really, really bad with names. So it takes practice. Just like every other skill, it's a skill to have. It takes practice. You have to practice memorizing people's names, and it'll work. Eventually you'll be good at it, and you'll be able to remember names, and people will appreciate you for that. I live in a very big city, and it's quite difficult to make new friends in my city, but since I've made an effort to memorizing people's names, I've made way more friends than I had ever made before. And I know that'll happen for you too. It's just a skill. You need to work on it, and you'll be really grateful that you did. Because if you don't remember someone's name, you really look like a jerk. Like a serious jerk.
Hey, Sean, what's up, dude? I haven't seen you in forever, bro.
Oh. Hey, dude.
You remember my name, right?
Of course I remember your name. How could I forget your name? Bro, you don't have to give me a hint. I know your name. It's Seamus.
My name is Sean. We literally have the same name. My name is Sean, your name is Sean.
I'm kidding. Of course, I know your name is Sean. And come on, dude, we have the same name. How could I forget? I want to share with you guys a very important clip of the U.S. Navy Admiral Mick Raven, talking about the importance of making your bed every morning. And I can go on and explain it myself, but this guy's a lot smarter than I am, and he's a lot more successful than I am, and I think he can word it a lot better than I could. So let's give him a watch.
If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better.
I love both this clip and this practice because, as he says, every day you make your bed, you accomplish something, even if it's just small. Starting your day with a productive task leads to productivity throughout the day, and productivity leads to success. So it's one of those things that I do it every day. I could take you to my room right now and show you my bed is made. It's just a good practice. It's a good thing to get used to. And if you don't do that, you should start doing it. And you'll actually feel a lot better for doing it. I promise you that much. And we're going to watch another speaker a little bit later named Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, who also preaches this, but we're going to listen to him for something else. Let's move on. I think a lot of people struggle with this because A lot of times when people are talking, you get stuck inside your own head. You start thinking about what you're going to say next. You think about how you can control the conversation, and you don't actually listen to what the person you're speaking to says. People have this problem with their boyfriend and their girlfriend. People have this problem with their romantic partners. People have that with their friends. And it's a real struggle that people deal with all the time. So what's new with you, man?
Yeah, man. This week, it's just been one of those weeks, Stephanie and I, well, she wanted to go to the next level, and it's like...
Man, I'm hungry. I could really go for a buffalo chicken sandwich. Well, that'd be a little bit heavy. Maybe I can have a Caesar salad. Yeah, Caesar salad sounds good. My mom likes Caesar salads. I haven't talked to my mom in a while. I should give her a call. Ooh, I should also call Sarah. I haven't talked to Sarah in a while either. I wonder what she's doing tonight. I wonder if I text her if she would come over. I really can go for that. I think I'm going to text Sarah.
I don't know, do you think I'm doing the right thing? I mean, what do you think?
Oh, dude, that's really cool, man. That's good job, bro. Awesome. You know what? You rock, dude.
What?
Nobody really wants to talk to somebody who's not actively listening to what they have to say. Because when you do that, all you're telling the person that's talking to you is that they don't matter. And it's not a polite way to be. It's not a respectful way to be. It's just rude. It's very self-centered. And even worse than this is the people who only listen to things so they can disagree. Right? We call these people contrarians. And they're like some of the worst people to ever talk to.
Yeah, so we went out for sushi. It was really nice.
Dude, sushi is terrible.
I like it.
That's because you don't have developed taste buds. I mean, like, if your taste buds are not developed, you're gonna like just about anything. I bet you also like to eat hamburgers.
Alrighty then. Anyways, did you see the new trailer for the Wes Anderson film?
Dude, he's a terrible director. Oh, I can't even believe you would say that.
I actually really enjoy his work. I find it artistic and meaningful.
Yeah, well, of course you do, because you have no understanding of how art works. I mean, it's elementary, basic art stuff. Just because it's artistic doesn't make it art. Hey, where are you going, coward? Get back here! I'm not done belittling your opinions! Some people, they develop their own opinions on things, and they sit by in conversation ready to interject and to disagree with anything that you have to say. These people are the worst, all right? And on top of them being that way, you have to understand that when you're talking to somebody that you don't necessarily agree with, well, people come up with their ideas through different ways, right? Personal experience tends to build worldview, and when you build your worldview based off your personal experience, and then you disagree with somebody else's world experience, what you're telling them is that they're wrong, that their experience wasn't correct, that they didn't feel what they felt, and you're just kind of being rude. You're never going to accomplish getting someone to agree with you by telling them that they're wrong. Right? If you want someone to change their mind and to agree with you, you don't tell them that they're wrong. And you don't disagree with everything they have to say. You have to find middle ground to build on. And, yeah. To me, taking personal responsibility for the things that you do in life is super duper important. It's one of those things that I feel like our generation, the millennials and the Gen Z guys, we missed out on this lesson. Nobody taught us about personal responsibility. At least nobody was on our side and taught us about personal responsibility. We were all taught about our responsibilities from the people who are telling us what to do and the authoritarian figures in our lives, but it was never somebody on our team talking to us about what our responsibilities were or how to take responsibility for your actions. It's so easy when we come up with failures or shortcomings to say things like, well, it's not my fault, or it's his fault, it's her fault, it wasn't because of me, it was because of something else, when really at the end of the day, we can only blame ourselves for the things that we suffer from.
Are you smoking in my house?
No.
Yes, you are. What the heck is that? I'm literally watching you smoke right now.
Well, I can see why you perceive it that way, but I'm not actually smoking in your house. It's not my fault. You see, when I was young, my dad didn't give me a lot of hugs.
And how does that impact you smoking in my house?
Because I wasn't loved enough. Can't you see? I wasn't loved. And the fact that you don't recognize that I wasn't loved triggers me. And when I'm triggered, I don't have to do anything that anybody says. It's because of people like you, people like my dad, and the systemic injustices that are the reason. Not me, alright? I'm not smoking in your house. My dad, you, and all of society is smoking in your house right now. Not me. It's not my fault. It's all this fucking stupid environment in which I occupy. It's bullshit. Without personal responsibility, we don't have self-respect. And without self-respect, how can we take ourselves seriously and try to achieve the things that we want to achieve in life? Sometimes we just have to admit to ourselves that, yeah, you know what? I messed up. I made a mistake, and I need to do better. Or I have to admit to myself that I have these responsibilities and I need to get them done. I can't put them off. I can't skip them. I just have to do the things I need to do. And that's regardless of how bad things are, because if you're not honest with yourself, you're not honest with anybody, right? You have to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with the outside world. So if you're lying to yourself about your responsibilities, you're really just making the world a terrible place. And stop that. Take responsibility for your actions. I'm going to let Dr. Jordan Peterson... So to quote the great Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, I'm going to read an excerpt from his book Meditations, which is another, in my opinion, must-read book. Say to yourself at the start of the day, I shall meet with meddling, ungrateful, violent, treacherous, envious, and unsociable people. They are subject to all these defeats because they have no knowledge of good and bad. But I, who have observed the nature of the good, and seen that it is the right, and of the bad, and seen that it is the wrong, and of the wrongdoer himself, and seen that his nature is akin to my own, not because he is of the same blood and seed, but because he shares as I do in mind and thus in a portion of the divine, I, then, can neither be harmed by these people, nor become angry with one who is akin to me, nor can I hate him. For we have come into being to work together, like feet, hands, eyelids, and the 2 rows of teeth in our upper and lower jaws. To work against one another is therefore contrary to nature, and to be angry with another person and turn away from him is surely to work against him. Meditations 2:1. Don't get mad at people, because getting mad at people doesn't help you at all. Like, at all. Getting mad at someone just leaves you mad and upset. That's it. It changes nothing in the world and it makes nothing better. All it does is change your emotions and controls you from being happy to then being unhappy. I seriously try really hard actively to not get mad at people, and I make that a goal for myself every day to not get upset. And I challenge you to do the same. I tend to align myself with the existential views when it comes to creating my own worldview. And since I'm not the smartest guy on the internet, I would really like to show you guys this clip from Stephen Fry on BBC. He explains this idea of accepting that no purpose creates purpose, and so here it is.
The existentialist Jean-Paul Sartre thought that human beings live in anguish. Not because life is terrible, but rather because we're condemned to be free. We're thrown into existence, become aware of ourselves, and have to make choices. Even deciding not to choose is a choice. According to Sartre, every choice reveals what we think a human being should be. A penknife has an essence. There is something that makes it what it is. It has to have a folding blade, or it wouldn't be a penknife. Its essence pre-exists the actual penknife that someone makes from the design. But according to Sartre, there is no design for a human being. No way we have to be, no God to create a purpose for us, no human nature that fixes how we should live. In his 1945 public lecture, Existentialism is a Humanism, he declared that for human beings, existence precedes essence. That is the fundamental tenet of existentialism. I create myself through what I do, the choices I make in a world without fixed values. This makes me, me. I am what I do. What heightens the anguish, though, is that every sincere decision I take presents a picture of what I believe any human being should be like. In fashioning myself, I fashion humanity. I have to act as if everyone is watching me, and there is no escape from this.
I want to share a couple stories with you about my young adulthood. Right? When I was younger, I was terrified of public speaking. This YouTube channel would not happen before because I was afraid of getting rejected by the crowds. I was afraid of not being able to speak properly. I was afraid that people wouldn't like me. I was afraid that I would be embarrassed. But the funny thing about it is that if you want to be accepted by a crowd, you have to put yourself in front of the crowd. If you want to be successful at speaking aloud, you have to speak aloud. You can't be great without doing anything. So at the end of the day, I realized that this was a flaw that I had, and I started doing stand-up comedy. And I'll be very honest, the first time I did stand-up comedy was awful. It was like the scariest thing I've ever done. I was nauseous, I wanted to vomit, I was sweaty, my hands were slimy, my head was sweaty, I felt dizzy. Right? I couldn't even see straight when I was up on stage the first time. And you know what? I didn't do that bad. And then the next time I did it, I was a little bit nervous, but more sure of myself. And then the last time I did it wasn't the last time, but the following time, I did good. And I wasn't nervous at all. And that also happened when I was afraid of heights. I used to be terrified of heights. I would get sick looking down from tall things. I would kind of get glued to the edge whenever I was up high. My knees would buckle. After a while, I tend to like the heights because I would force myself to go up there. I would force myself to jump off of cliffs into the water. I would force myself to go up to high places and look down at the ground until I was no longer afraid. The same also goes with working out. I used to be terrified to go to the gym because I was afraid that I wasn't strong like the other guys at the gym. I wasn't good looking like the other guys at the gym. So it was really difficult for me to want to go to the gym. But eventually I went and I started lifting and started getting strong. So is the nature of life. If you are afraid to do things, you absolutely must do them. Because if you don't, you're allowing yourself to be controlled by your fears. By doing something uncomfortable, you're becoming comfortable with discomfort. And over time, you'll become more and more comfortable, and you'll be better at doing things, and you'll be more willing to try new things. And after a while, you will be in complete control of your life. Because like I just said, if you don't face your fears, you allow your fears to control your life, and you will never accomplish anything special or anything extraordinary. Alright, that's it for today's video. I know this was really different, but I really hope you liked what you saw on the channel. As always, let me know in the comment section if you like more stuff. I will always do more stuff like this if you guys like it. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the Discord, and yeah, alright. I'll stick around for some affirmation. Now for a bit of quick affirmation. I just wanted to quickly let you know how proud of you I am and let you know what wonderful things that you're accomplishing. I'm so proud of you, and look, today was a heavy topic. We discussed a lot of heavy shit, and I want you to know that I think you will be able to overcome all of the hardships you have in life so long as you choose life. Never hurt yourself. If you ever need help, reach out to me. I'm always available. I love you.